Hello everybody and welcome once again to Serious Sunday. I'm your host Luke and this is the show where I talk about video games and things. And this week we have a little bit more in the realm of cancelled fan projects. It's been a while since we've taken a look at one of these. The last times were of course AM2R, another Metroid 2 remake, and Pokemon Uranium. Looking at the unfortunate relationship that Nintendo has with its fans and their fan remakes, but this time I wanted to take a quick look and sort of spotlight the Indiana Jones Fate of Atlantis remake or special edition project that was recently announced that it had essentially received a cease and desist letter from Disney, the now owners of LucasArts. This doesn't exactly come as a surprise. Indiana Jones fan projects have been blackballed in the past in this manner, so it's not like this is something that has never happened before, but at the same time, it's always unfortunate to see a passion project like this lose its momentum because the owner of the IP just didn't want it to happen. It's fully understandable, of course, as much as we don't want to admit it. Ultimately, creating fan games is just a kind of bad idea. I don't dislike fan games as a concept. When you really love something, a lot of the time you want there to be more of it, and if there isn't more of it, sometimes you want to take that upon yourself to do. But unfortunately, intellectual property is just kind of a sticky subject, and at the end of the day, it's the obligation of the IP's owner to protect their product. And some companies are just a little bit more zealous about doing that than others. So Fate of Atlantis is either going away or being changed enough that it can be called a homage or spiritual successor, and honestly that probably would have been the way to go from the first place. But honestly, considering that it's essentially a remake, I don't know if that's going to be possible, being that there's just too much tied up in an existing game already. Unlicensed remakes are risky, it just usually isn't going to happen. Which is unfortunate when you consider that a lot of the time these are properties that aren't being leveraged by their owners. Not to say that Indiana Jones isn't still within the realm of Disney exploiting the IP for future projects. In related news and not an unsurprising twist, yet another Nintendo fan game, this time of Mother, particularly Mother 4, or the series known best for North America's Earthbound, is being reskinned and turned into its own unique project. And I'm glad that that's the decision that they made. You see, on the subject of fan projects, fan remakes, and other projects that rely too much on other companies' IP, you're just always on shaky legal ground from the very start. And as awesome as it would be in a perfect world if every studio was happy to have their IP expanded upon in fan art and fan projects, that's not the case, especially for large companies like Disney and Nintendo, both of whom are notoriously protective of their IP. Fan projects are great, but honestly, it's just not worth it. You're going to put an awful lot of time and energy into something that very easily could be subject to a DMCA and absolutely nothing that you can do about it. 9.9 times out of 10, you're much better off making an homage or a spiritual successor to the project that you are so in love with that you wanted to create a fan project of. We've seen a lot of these that have gone on to become great projects of their own, like Xenonauts to the XCOM franchise. Or hell, if rumors are to be believed, StarCraft for Warhammer 40k. I'm not saying don't do it, but don't do it. It's really not worth your time. I know that you'd love to make that fan project, but why not invest the time on doing something original? I'm always saddened to see these projects go the way of the dodo because somebody decided to tangle with Nintendo or Disney or Konami or something like that. I don't want you to not be able to put your game out, and if you have enough creativity to create something that is still new in an existing franchise, why not take that one extra final step and make it all your own? I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Mother 4 team is going to do with their project, and I sincerely hope that the team that did AM2R goes on to create another kick-ass Metroidvania type game, because AM2R was pretty fucking fantastic. I'm not personally a Pokemon fan, but hell, give the Pokemon Uranium people mad props for doing what they did as well. And I hope that each and every one of them don't become discouraged by the events that led to them being unable to publish their games. Yeah, the inability to have brand recognition sucks, but there's a whole lot of baggage that you just really don't want to deal with that comes with doing that. I've already kind of said my piece on how unfortunate it is that there are a lot of publishers who just aren't interested in fan projects made of their games, so I'm not going to beat that dead horse anymore. But I certainly hope that all of those bright-eyed and smart new developers inspired by these games take that inspiration and do something really cool with it, without necessarily leaning on an existing property to do so. So to the Indiana Jones, Fate of Atlantis, and Mother 4 teams, good luck. I really hope that things go your way. I hope that all of this press, regardless of the unfortunate events surrounding it are, will help to keep you the recognition that you need in order to continue to move on forward. Good luck, guys. Keep fighting the good fight. Make some original games. I'll play them. Anyway, that's enough for me for tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you didn't, you probably didn't listen this long, so thank you everybody who did. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like and or subscribe. Makes me happy when people do. You're not obligated to though. I'm just happy that you showed up. Thanks as always. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday or whenever it is that you happen to be watching this video, and take care.